Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's action here for MDL, the MDL qualifiers for the CIS region to be exact. My name is Dragon Job. I'm joined by Mr. V, and this is a treat already. NaVi versus M19. I'm ready. How about you, man?
Oh, I've got my tea. I am ready to go. I thought I wanted to sleep, but nope. We got Dota cast, so let's do it.
Alright, Undying first pick here straight off the bat. Not banned. Actually a hero that we see banned quite often here these days, along with heroes that we see here as well: Enchantress, Beastmaster, Winter Wyvern. Some familiar faces here, but M19 actually opting to just take out the Vengeful Spirit as well as the Doom on top of that, so the Undying is slipping through. Very strong early game hero. So that seems to be the plan for them already up against NaVi, but they get their hands on the IO.
Man, this hero, I think this hero is broken, but that's just my opinion. Tether grants Scepter bonus at what, level 15? IO attacks the target at level 20. You can pair it with about anything. And they have opportunity to ban out AA if they want to next phase. And M19, do they want to run Undying AA? Probably not, but they could think about it as they leave their options open here on V and decide to go for the kind of clockwork here. Could be off lane, could be 4, but I think it's usually in the 4 position, right?
Usually, yeah. Often
I guess
Clockwork
with the
just,
Wisp.
yeah. Thing is with Clockwork in the offlane, you're kind of missing out on a lot of roaming potential. Like you want him to stay in the offlane to just try and get experience, but then you can't run down supports and just try and kill them with with the battery assault. Can't put pressure on mid with the same kind of idea, so kind of limits your options in that regard.
I don't feel like running Wisp as a 5 position is necessarily the best idea though, right? Because then this would be your 5 and 4. But if you put Clockwork in the offlane, then at least you have like some options in terms of whether or not you want to roam. But again, it's probably more of a flex pick, and M19 has the option to kind of figure out how they want to respond to this clock, because clock is really not fun to deal with as a support. Like, it's hard to outrun him, so maybe they'll go for something with like a little bit more tankiness, like a Jakiro, but with Fang, that's kind of hard to uh run at that point. You may want something just with a hard lockdown like a stun, but Vengeful Spirit has been banned out by then, so maybe like Lion.
Lion, or perhaps the Rubik would be the most obvious one as a classic counter towards the Clockwork, even early on. Just having no cast point means they can always pluck him out of the cogs in case he catches you. But they get the Disruptor instead, also similar idea with the Glimpse to be able to deal with that.
And it's nice also for that vision component as well. Just with the Thunderstrike, you can, if you get Thunderstrike up on Wisp or Clockwork, sometimes you can see that relocate. And this is actually more of a Wisp counter than I'd say a Clockwork counter. Because if relocate comes in and Disruptor's ready and or super farmed, he can blink to where Wisp is relocating in and drop the Static Storm.
Yeah, that is the big thing that they were looking to get with that. And then if you have the Static Storm, Kinetic Field closing them in, Undying maybe he's in the general area as well, drops a Tombstone, and all of a sudden whoever you relocate in has really, really bad time. So, but at the same time, that's something that a lot of teams that run IO are very familiar with dealing with. So, gotta keep an eye on where the Disruptor is, on the status of the Static Storm. Just gonna initiate on him with a Clockwork while IO +1 going on somewhere else. Like, there's ways to just play around that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Glimpse is a pretty strong tool against the Relocate as well, if you want to just glimpse back the Wisp and leave their core exposed. But again, that requires that you firstly are winning the team fight. And if Wisp is coming in, usually it means that they intend on winning the team fight and are committed to it.
5 seconds remaining.
So what's the combo gonna be?
Well, NaVi has last pick here. So I think they'll probably go safe lane and then offlane. Sven is in the pool. I don't think they really like to run Sven though with the Wisp. Usually they prefer the CK, but that's been banned out.
Yeah. They did run the Sven without the Wisp up against Team Liquid in Dream League the other day and actually won that game, so...
Yeah,
just
and Sven's a
figure,
natural
hey,
BKB
yeah.
carrier, so it's nice versus Disruptor. But I'm just kind of thinking about, like, what do you want versus Undying as well in the lane, right? What's going to be sustainable and work? You could even go back for something like a Clinks, but I don't think that pairs too nicely with the Wisp. It does do some stuff, but I think they want to get a little bit more tanky here with the Wisp combo.
Sven would be probably the most common one that's left in the pool. I don't think Tiny is... it's a big question mark with the Tiny, right? Because he's changed so much with the tree grab and that not being the Aghanim Scepter anymore and whatnot.
They could also go for something like a Spectre, but this on in the draft, I think it leaves you a little bit too vulnerable. Other generic options, maybe something like a Legion Commander, DK, just pick their mid lane hero or off lane to leave that open for them, but I think they're a little bit afraid of being kind of like baited into Sven and then M19 having the opportunity to just kite out the Sven, but Drow has been banned.
Dire team pick.
Oh, for now it's the Sand King. So, that's interesting. So either that's gonna be the off lane, or it's could be a 3-position clockwork after all. The Sand King also, generally speaking, is that 4-role roamer.
And I think you prefer the...
10 seconds remaining.
I think you prefer the Sand King in the off lane in this situation, so that Wisp can tether the clockwork to run people down. You don't really tether the Sand King and get a whole lot out of it after he throws that stun. It's kind of more nice to have the clockwork. So I'm thinking this is going to be off lane Sand King, but we'll see.
Well,
lots of flexibility here.
Stranger things have happened. At the same time, like General is very accomplished on clockwork. From like all the games that he's played in that hero and Roger, I see him more as a Sand King character in 4 position. We'll find out though.
This is an intimidating mid pick now. Don't want to have to... And NaVi doesn't have a lot of time to figure out how they want to deal with Viper. They could go for something like Razor or maybe go Sniper to try to stay back, but it's not fun playing up against Viper.
Weaver now, okay.
I think
Also,
this is safe lane Weaver.
Could be, yeah. Maybe it's not even the crazy, obvious, super strong IO combo after all. Maybe just, hey, we're just gonna take a few heroes that are pretty decent with IO. Like, yeah, maybe a bit of a bait pick. Like, hey, counter this IO, guys. I swear it's gonna be a core of a draft, but then it's just like this hero that buffs up everyone anyway and provides heals and sustain through pushes, that mobility. But it's not that classic IO +1 combo that just takes over the whole game.
Yeah, I think looking at NaVi's draft at this point, they have Clockwork, Sand King. So these are two heroes that kind of can set up that gank from the Wisp with the relocate in. So having that flexibility for Wisp to either relocate in a Weaver or another mid lane hero, I think is kind of their strategy. They don't want to fully commit to Wisp being like some duo combo that is countered by, as you said, the Disruptor and kind of Viper, because Viper is really good versus that kind of Wisp and one focused core, but Wisp with Weaver, not really not super concerned about that Viper unless Viper works his way up to something like an Orchid and is able to get the Weaver silenced.
Well, gonna have to be challenged for M19, but when it comes to silence, Nightstalker is the king, at the very least at nighttime. Also have the Disruptor against the Weavers, so I don't know, M19 already have some tools to deal with what NaVi wants to throw at them, I guess.
The ban of the Tiny, interesting coming up. I would anticipate that we may see mid Quap here. Quap is okay versus Viper. Not ideal, but doable-ish.
Yeah, problem is that you can't really make good use of the poison. Shadow Strike, just try and harass, but because Grosso Skin is gonna say no to that. Faces Void here for M19. So that is going to be their carry position.
Mm-hmm.
Disrupt kind of babysitting a little bit for as much as they do, and then Night Stalker roaming and dying in the offlane, but it looks of it, so they
10
spend some
seconds
time
remaining.
putting on pressure on whoever NaVi sends in that safe lane.
5 seconds
So the question
remaining.
becomes, can they try and exploit this here? Can they run some sort of aggro lane themselves and dodge out that undying lane?
I'm not sure if you really have that much capacity to dodge the Undying. Like, you have Clockwork, Sand King, both melee strength heroes. Undying just loves those type of hero matchups where he's able to just get decay, get a tombstone down, and having to walk melee into the range of tombstone is not ideal.
You may now select
And
your
NaVi
heroes.
goes back for Shadow Fiend. This is ambitious. There's going to have to be a lot of babysitting here for Dendi in the mid lane, unless they want to put Crystallized mid and Dendi safe or something.
It seems unlikely. I mean, it
Yeah,
does
very
feel like this
unlikely.
is a draft that's where NaVi is just saying, hey, we want to play these heroes, we don't really care about what the other team has. And that might just backfire. At the same time, all they're a very accomplished team, very talented players, and very experienced players on these heroes, which also works in their favor, and especially that IO has the capacity to just change the math a little bit here, even in the early game. Just that extra bit of heal can turn a gank around, and all of a sudden, the entire game outlook is different.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, it's going to come down to that, as well as M19 also being able to put on the pressure with the Undying as well as the Night Stalker, and convert that into kills and convert that into towers eventually.
I wonder if this will be the magic builds Shadow Fiend, and Snake will just kind of sit mid, and Shadow Fiend will level up Raze, not really focus on right-clicking down creeps because Viper's stupid like that. I guess with the changes to Nether Toxin, though, Dendi may be able to CS versus the Viper.
Well, magic damage, Shadow Fiend been buffed a little bit. I still think
40%
right-click
cooldown
coming from
reduction? 25 is pretty legit. E-Blade and Dagon, like 8 and 9 second cooldowns respectively.
But you don't play for 5.
Very true. Oh yes, and now they get to do the clock thing to get the souls up. Wow, this is old.
It's always something that you always have to keep in mind. Snako helping, setting up for these cogs. So already up to 5. Slightly inefficient. Could have gotten 6 here if you were quick enough.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. And you have plenty of time to get a good number out. All you really need is like 8 or 11, 12. That's at a point where you have a good amount of last hit damage. You can test mid, even like against the Viper early on.
Roger loves this bounty hunter little emote or whatever it is.
This is interesting though. This is the one way that teams have come to counter out this kind of strategy. They just smoke up S5, they run straight into the Shadow Fiend, try and kill him before he can actually get to lane. And well, doing the kinetic fields, Neko will be the first blood here eventually, at the very least. Then they able to stay alive, and a bit of extra play. A couple of right clicks coming through up the high ground. The M19 don't quite get the big target that they want. Shadow Fiend just trying to limit the souls immediately, but will secure the first blood regardless, and will also get 2 bounty runes on this side of the map.
I wonder if Crystallized will get both.
Will they?
Crystallized got both, though.
Yeah, General is actually fighting them here. Nyx and Muriel in the middle of that, and well, not much else coming from there.
Pikachu missed his block, so this is going to really advantage Shadow Fiend here. Especially if they're aiming to put pressure on him, but Busy has no mana, so... Or Blizzy, rather.
Doom is there, though. I'm dying. Actually, not in the offlane role as maybe expected. Starts off in mid, just throwing out that decay, and Shadow Fiend, quite a vulnerable hero to that in particular. Losing all of these health points. But Roger's there to try and show the things up a little bit more.
Dendi doing well with the CS at least.
So far so good. He started with 10 Cork deniers or something, so he has 3 in lane already. Also pretty good.
Top lane.
Well,
General's getting to take some harass here.
very interesting to see how these lanes will shape up. It's been a while since we've actually seen an offline Clockwork. The idea is, alright, just try and work around your power cogs, get the mana burn off. Try and soak as much experience as you can, and arguably it got much harder in general for the offlane ever since the patch, but Clockwork, at the very least you can get that first lane a little bit closer to your tower with the cogs, but he's already taking quite a bit of harassment here. Meanwhile down bottom, Blizzy. In similar situation here, Crystallize linked up by Soneko, and this will be first kill in favor of NaVi.
Good job by them to recognize that kill, and they recognize also that Shadow Fiend can kind of survive a little bit in the mid lane, so they rotate the Sand King down, get that kill. I think Clock is able to kind of function this offlane because I believe they buffed the range for gaining experience, so you don't have to be as close to the creep wave now to get XP.
Regardless, he's got a big old creep wave coming his way. 3 range creeps, one of them will be denied. Next we'll try and contest a few more of these under the tower. General's gonna get us level 3 at least from that, and good number of last hits too. So he'll be absolutely fine with the way this game's going.
Yeah, getting
Fine,
boots up on Clockwork.
Ooh, Dandy though. Only kinetic field as well as Thunderstrike, but they actually catch Dandy in here. He's caught by the right clicks. Roger with the TP in. He takes a couple of tower shots, but nothing nothing that NaVi can really do to get any sort of trade out of it.
Yeah, Dendi could have popped his Fairy Fire, and if Soneko had a TP, he had a regen rune, so they could have potentially saved Dendi, but just no TP on Soneko, kind of. Dendi doesn't want to use the Fairy Fire when he's probably dead anyways.
Yeah. Well, turn things around a little bit. He's still holding on to 12 souls, so make it hard for Viper to contest, even with the poison attack. You have that every
Top
6
lane.
seconds, and you don't want to. Oh god, that is. Awkward actually gets a kill here on the Disruptor.
General well playing himself. Well played, General. Oh, thanks, General. You're the best.
Well, if no one else will do it, right? You gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Viper, you don't really want to use a poison attack to last it with that extra damage that you get. Want to use it to harass instead.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those weird things now where it's nice slow, but you really don't really benefit from the missing health percentage until they're already a little bit low.
As long as Danny's still missing strength with Hume continuing to roam around towards mid a little bit. Roger though, he was smoked up I believe, now gets the burst strike off. The early infused rain out here will block some of the damage, but General rotating in with 2 points up and Battery Assault. This Undying shouldn't have fallen. Might be able to get himself to Knight to Roshan, but no, plenty of damage here. That's rotation though from the rest of M19. Muriel coming in, same for Blizzy with the Invis rune. I don't believe he's been scouted out just yet. No vision on this bottom side rune. But no angle to do anything either.
Are scanning.
General's got 10 denies. Those are probably mostly cogs though. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, unlikely. I mean, Nyx is still doing quite well.
Yeah.
30 lasted here to the 26 of the Weaver. Crystallize also left his own devices down bottom. I think they'll be fine. Nightstalk in the offlanes. Okay, Dandy in mid. Actually in a bit of trouble. Soneko's there to heal him up a little bit, but he's full health himself. Only has that extra bit of turnaround from the overcharge, but with Roger also rotating in, they get the kill on to the Undying. Bit of an overextension there.
That's really big. Dendi's not actually like that high in his experience gain just because so many people have been contesting mid. So to get one more kill is really going to help him out. Meanwhile, Pikachu, he's actually falling behind Dendi now due to that kill. So
yep.
Dendi's got to be happy about that. Disruptor with smoke. They may look for a kill here on to Dendi, but with Roger in the area, seems unlikely. Man, General is relentless in this top lane. He just runs at Void.
That's a bit of damage over time here if you want to look at it like that. It's very hard for Void to actually deal with it. Gets mana burns. You need to farm up some of these cogs in return at least. Does have enough range after being burned by that once, so hey. But yeah, General is very successful with offline Clockwork so far, and Clockwork as a hero is one of these types that can just take a game over once you hit level 6, level 7, get some kills on your own, and M19 they want to punish that before while they can. General coming through, but Snako in with the heals. They get rid of the Tombstone immediately. I believe it was only level 1 or so. It was indeed. So nothing will come of this either. Snako everywhere really, he needs to be.
Yeah, good rotation by him. Crystallize is really like, he hit level 6 before the Night Stalker, but he's wanting to potentially go for this kill here. No, he won't dive yet.
Right, I'm not exactly a fan of the Night Stalker offlane just because he's basically using his first nighttime to just farm. You don't. You're missing out on all this pressure that you could provide towards other lanes. Okay. Keeper again, overextension mid. Not expecting this one. Roger,
yeah, he just kind of walked up onto the high ground.
Yeah. Roger being there as well. Not just Soneko who's all over the place. Like if Soneko's the first aid, like the medic, then Roger's the scout that just tries to be aggressive. Now another burst strike. Oh,
good
play support again. NaVi still very low on the Dandy character. General coming through as well though, and looking straight for Muriel, running him down with the battery assault. Kinetic field will not catch him in time, or will it? No, not quite enough. Now the hookshot coming online onto Pikachu, catches him inside the cogs now. The link from Soneko giving him that extra bit of potency. General will secure a second kill for his team. Roger will fall to Hume, but hey, I think they should still be happy with that, especially since Dendy survived that whole ordeal, made it all the way back to base.
It's a lot of time that Dendy's not farming creeps, but, you know, better than being dead. Maybe. The efficiency of dying... Yeah, the efficiency of dying is actually comparable. On Shadow Fiend, you don't want to lose your souls, but in a lot of cases, it's actually better just to die than run back all the way to base.
It's daytime again. They're gonna go look for Blizzy. The bugs actually do not connect on a Night Stalker, so they don't have exact vision. Trying to juke and jive a little bit, but Crystallize in general, well, they have plenty of health points between them. Tank up the tower a little bit, especially with Soneko coming through, but into the Chronosphere. Nyx making that rotation, trying to make that trade happen, but doesn't actually have the kill power, with Soneko still being linked up with that overcharge.
That was...
Able to keep General alive.
Yeah. If Nyx would have attacked the Wisp once, he would have cancelled the regen on the Wisp, which may have allowed him to get that kill, but then he has to run back and forth there, so... Suboptimal use. As Viper may go down mid till Roger here. He's got 2 points in Burrow.
Fully cancelled here by the Rocket Flare, but now Roger stands up as Blizzy makes rotation with his Nighttime ultimate. They will get that turnaround kill. The first kill participation actually now. A hookshot comes through onto Pikachu. He's still super low. Tombstone comes out. A couple of heals from Hume. General, he might be the one in trouble. He is straight up TPing out. Nothing there to cancel it actually. Muriel get the glimpse of in time by the looks of it.
What composure by General. Hey, he just used Void. I gotta get out of here. And with the Tombstone committed, I believe the zombies actually do soak up the battery assault. So
I think so, yeah.
Kind of losing that kill potential there on the Viper, who is quite tanky with the 3 points up in corrosive skin. Crystallize on Hume.
Bug nibbling away the Zama is actually in a lot of trouble here, trying to get rid of it. The heal's going through, but Crystallize. Oh, that bash just in time. Now the silence on the Void to interrupt the next TP. He still gets a time lapse off here, back to full health, and another Shikuchi away. Should be enough. He does cancel a Clarity on Blizzy on the way out. And will also secure the bounty, so that works out. General, where's he at? Up top.
He was looking for Disruptor.
Killer, but yeah, okay. Be quite fine. Hookshot still on cooldown for another couple of seconds. The lane, Denny's dropping a little Pikachu. He does have a haste drone here, but now Dendy being linked up by Soneko. Scoot right on out of there. Another salve. Bring it up to on health points. It'll be fine, but hookshot up top. Blizzy caught by it right under the tower. Mass CP is coming through here. There's not another Chronosphere available, but the heals from Hume and now the decay. Forcing out the burst strike from Roger, so he should be able to get the turn on kill onto General. The zombie still following the Sand King here. Does have the Sandstorm available. But Chronosphere actually cooling off in time, so if they really wanted to commit for that, they could have. But not really trusting in the damage
stacks.
output just yet here from the Faceless Void.
Dendy's going to go back for the Shadow Blade build. I was talking to a few of my kind of higher 7K friends, and they were saying that Shadow Fiends should almost always be going for the Dragonlance build nowadays, as we do have the Glimpse on top. Roger
Tried to play his way out of there with a Burst Strike just as the Glimpse came out. We're still going to take to the damage over time. General trying to trade for it, but it's not quite catch Miro inside the Cogs. With the Battery Assault, it might have been a kill right there.
he regrets
There's
this
the
decision.
Chronosphere actually coming through. There's a Static Storm to follow this up with. If he wants to drop it down, there it is just now. No Kinetic Field though, to relocate in. Dendy coming in from the back, trying to find something here. Nyx forced to dive down to the south. Then for Muriel here, going to the east here, trying to dodge us out. And, well, Whisper's back. Dendy left him to his own devices here. That's still a Shrine. Couple of Razors here, but Nyx undoes the damage. DP also forced out from Rogers, and now it's M19 who are on the run. Yum. Long range raise available here, and he gets it just on the edge. Despite the glimpse.
Thanks for the glimpse.
Yeah,
Back
just
to farming
back to farming. The
efficiency.
hookshot though. General has other plans. He wants to find Muriel here. Plays up against 2. He should be able to get the kill. But can he get himself out of this situation now? No TP this time. Nyx is there with a bash anyway. Will pay with his own life. Not sure if that was worth it at this point. Gets a little bit more money than Nyx does, but well.
Crystallize is wanting to go on Blizzy here, but Viper's TP will dissuade him as Yum rotates over and spots him.
The active game so far. Both teams trying to force out these rotations, and Yum's actually in a lot of trouble here with the level 10 on the to get that mana break. The Silence, the Void, doing quite a bit of damage here. Glimpse back, no Static Storm available, so Crystallize does get the time lapse out of the kinetic field even.
And he's like, good job. Way to not die. I'll take this tower now. Thanks for making space, Crystallize.
That's a kill they just missed out on because of 5 seconds or so on the Static Storm cooldown.
Yeah,
Nice.
Roger
Okay,
next to full top.
Running up against
Will we
Shadow
pay
Fiend,
for
Crystallize
this,
coming in from the side. Yum, this time it will fall. Tombstone is down, but it will be farmed up immediately. But no, Blizz and Pikachu try and fight up against Dandy and Snako, but the hook shot coming in. Pikachu will fall to the right clicks despite the break coming out at Bug. Still nibbling away at Blizzy and also giving that extra vision. One jumping attack will finish him off. Crystallize going forward. Can he get it off? Blizzy super fast. And fast enough here to Bug. Taken care of. Now a lot of damage from the tower as well. Crystallize cannot continue that chase, so Blizzy barely surviving that by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. Roger did go down top. They committed the Static Storm with the Kinetic Field to kill him as he was farming up the small pull camp. And Void came in, did a few right clicks while that was all happening. So there was a little bit of delay from the side of M19 to get those cores back to that kind of dive fight in the mid lane.
Being able to face his Void, he did go for the Battle Fury. Doesn't seem to be, or at least it definitely wasn't the popular build before 707. So do you think the changes to like the Manta and the Fuel Blade in particular kind of changed the priorities for these kind of heroes?
Partially for sure. I think the way farming works now, just in these games and the new pacing of the games where you're able to go high ground, puts actually more benefit on having an item like Battle Fury that you're able to push down lanes faster with, or at least kind of keep the lane equilibrium farther down. Because Manta and Diffusal, while decent for farming, isn't as strong as Battle Fury. So teams are just prioritizing that ability to push out lanes a lot more.
Focus on push rather than on the damage output.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in this game you have Pikachu who's kind of supposed to do that damage inside the Chronosphere, help you out in that regard. You also have the zombies stacking up from Tombstone. Not actually putting many points into it though. Doom with a 2-2, Decay and Soul Rip, and building at 1 point up into Tombstone.
Yeah, Pikachu's actually not super planning on doing a lot of damage in these Chronospheres. He's got a very defensive build. He's going now for Blade Mail. So I think Pikachu just kind of wants to frontline and tank up and let the damage be kind of done by the Disruptor and Void.
Oh,
Top lane.
That works out for him. Should be able to secure the tower.
Yeah.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's
But I think
middle
this
tower is
Wisp,
under attack.
I mean, Soneko has already done quite a bit, just being the medic, just kind of gangs around like we mentioned in the draft. What's the potential for the relocates though in this game?
There was one relocate top that we saw.
Radiant's
I don't
bottom
think
tower is
relocate
under
is
attack.
going to be
Radiant structures are fortified.
a major factor
Dire's
until
top
you
tower
have
is under attack.
the Sand King Blink online. Because then you have multiple ways of initiating in addition to the relocate. Now they seem to be aiming for the Roshan. Will they be able to get it with the bug? This will be close. I wonder, do they know? They have the ward. They seem to be pinging it out.
Then he's tanking it up, so the bug will continue to nibble away. But M19 coming through with the Static Storm catches through, then Luke down Snako. Then he caught in the middle of that, but he is in this with the Shadow Blade. Chronosphere just a little bit too late to catch him inside of that as well, but they do get crystallized. Middle of the back, Pikachu dies to the epicenter. Roger wrapping around, does have another Burst Strike available, but M19 not really feeling that right now without the follow-up damage, and especially without crystallized and then being so low. They'll look to finish up Roshan themselves. They drop down to Tombstone. They also catch Roger on the outside. It's gonna be a freebie on the Sand King here, despite the Burrow Strike attempt out of that kinetic field. Aegis now in hands of Nyx. M19 with a huge victory there. They look for more Dendy. He's being held up though by the Shrine. General Seneko there to help fight with him. Without the Chronosphere, without the Tombstone, without Static Storm, M19 did not commit for that fight, wisely so. Oh, nighttime even
Really
for
well
another
played.
2 minutes.
Yeah, really well by the Disruptor to just drop the Static Storm almost blindly into the pit. His smoke broke and he had a sense that they were in there, and Nightstalker just took the Wisp before this could heal anyone up as they look to fight here. It's got the Shadow Blade. May look for the big Requiem.
Opening themselves up to that for the time being.
Radiant's middle tower is
They have,
under attack.
they have enough time to reset, re-engage, wait for the ultimates come online to do that. Chronosphere in
And we'll
50
have
seconds.
Aegis.
Yeah. This is Void going for the Lincoln Sphere next, so... Actually... Let's have the Yasha and the ultimate orb, but yeah, that's the Lincoln Sphere queued up.
What are you planning on Lincoln-ing? The Burrow
That's the
Strike?
question, right? Burrow Strike works.
That is the only thing. Like, unless Weaver gets a Diffusal, or Shadow Fiend gets a Hurricane Pike, or a Force Staff on Clockwork. I disagree, Mr. Nyx. I think Manta is the choice here. It is good regen and stats, though, so maybe he's thinking more about that and just doesn't want to be stunned up by the Sand King. There isn't a whole lot of control from NaVi, so just maybe removing that one stun that could throw him off. If he doesn't have to be concerned about that and can just control for it, then why not, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, the two-sided argument here when it comes to Lincoln Spheres. Sometimes there is only one or two spells that can actually block, that can actually trigger it, so you don't get a lot of value out of it in that sense. At the same time, as you said, if that's the spells that you're worried about, then yeah, you actually have more value out of it than in a game where you block a lot of spells. There's a lot of single target that's would trigger it.
Like Nyx Arc Lightning, for example. Like in a game like that, you're like, oh, I don't want to get Lincolns because it can be popped easily, as they may go on Roger here.
Yeah, they get the dust off. They'll be able to just right click him down under cover of the silence here. Can get the burst strike off, but the thunder strike will finish him off. Now, if a creep is coming in a couple of seconds with a catapult, they could look towards the Steel 1 tower. In terms of objectives, actually, NaVi way ahead of M19. They took a tier 2 top, even including all the tier 1s.
That's the Shadow Fiend effect.
Yeah. M19 have to play a little bit of catch up.
Tower is under attack.
Crystallize already putting on more pressure up top here as well. Get the tier 1 with the glyph delaying this here. They won't be able to get much more out of that before they have to respond to top to some extent. And that was the case. The NaVi would win a victory because there isn't Aegis in M19. They want to take a fight right now. Or do they? DD and Shadow Fiend still pretty damn scary.
Especially with the new BKB.
Nice. Yeah. Through here, signs up on the clockwork. He still has a better assault going now. The Epicenter being channeled up. Gets a burst strike on 2. Pikachu caught under the tower. Tombstone is going. Pikachu being healed up. Now there's the Chronosphere. Also catches his eye on the side. Relocate. Not really doing anything. It's being cancelled. The BKB on Denny is also in this, but I see him. They bring him down. Only the mini ults. Now Weaver caught in front. Let's see. Gets a time lapse out. Everyone's super low on M19, but Nyx is still working away. The General doesn't even care about the Blake Mail. Pikachu might take a spell here on top of the 2 supports, and he will indeed between Crystallize and Sand King doing the damage. Blizzy, okay, he can always fly across, but the bug nibbling away. Also providing vision. Crystallize wants a kill, and Roger with another blink in. Nyx gonna have some work to do here, but he cannot see Roger. He cannot right click what you cannot see, and all 4 heroes inside of M19 dropping down. The Aegis not even triggered, but that's the best kind of way to take a fight here for NaVi in this situation.
They do lose the Shadow Fiend, which is unfortunate for them. The Wisp, attempting to tether to the Shadow Fiend, got caught in the Chronosphere, and that kept the outside of the range. It's just one of those little things that can end up working. We see Crystallize actually going for the Mana Break and Strength build on the Weaver.
Yep.
Fairly even fight, though, I think. They do get the tower, which is nice, and Dendi has to go farm to get up his souls again.
UL just trying to push it out, trying to get some extra levels of his own. Fought here by Crystallize and Roger. And he also gets a tower, so going a long way of trying to catch up to Nyx, who's getting some value out of the Battle Fury, to say the least. 13k net worth here, 22 minutes in. 23 minutes almost. Still about 3k ahead of the Weaver. Lincoln Sphere completed it now. He has that Metal Star queued up to turn a Yasha into something worthwhile.
What a really good Epicenter Burrow Strike combo by Roger, though, to start off that fight. I believe he got it on both the Disruptor and the Undying. And also Pikachu.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, he like burrowed through the Pikachu to get the 2 supports. Is this a relocate, or is this no? This is just a smoked up Wisp? Why does Wisp look so...
I know, it's so bugged. It's because of the pause. Nothing in particular in this instance. Just the pause, messing with that hero for some reason. Alright, so where does it leave us right now? Aegis has just expired. With that fight, NaVi actually consolidated the lead again, despite being up against an Aegis, so that in itself is impressive. As you said, they did lose the Shadow Fiend. He's kind of falling behind a tiny amount compared to Faceless Void. He does have that BKB, he does have the Shadow Blade, so should still be fairly effective in fights. Unless they just focus him down with the right clicks that they have.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend is kind of in a weird spot where he's like, okay, I definitely need BKB because I can't deal with the mischance or like don't want to get caught by Disruptor. But at the same time, there's a Chronosphere that he has to worry about when trying to get his ulti off. So he's really dependent on like Roger and his team to control that Void. But with now the Lincoln Sphere up on the Void, how do they ensure that Shadow Fiend stays safe in these fights and doesn't get chronoed? And it's really hard. They almost have to like get Snako weirdly positioned so he can relocate Shadow Fiend out of the Chronospheres when they drop.
Yeah. Could be the big issue, and
see, well, Blizzy agrees with me. Affirmative.
If you... All depends on the positioning of the Chronosphere. I mean, if you're on the right side of it, when like Shadow Fiend's caught on the edge, and you're on the same side on the outside, but on a... You know what I mean, right? So you can still get the tether in without being caught in the Chronosphere yourself, which has happened a couple of times here for Snako. Trying to help out the Shadow... anyone caught inside there.
One of the things that NaVi has going for them as well is their ability to push down these towers. You would think that the Battle Fury on the Void would enable them to keep the lanes pushed a lot better, but NaVi's just been meticulous in keeping the lanes shoved in, and that's really been affecting the Dire's ability to get ganks off with, especially with the Night Stalker. You want to be aggressive with the Night Stalker, as NaVi says already. We're just waiting on M19 to say that Nyx is good.
Alright. Nyx is back in the fray. Should be ready to get going soon.
Do you think calling him NIX would be clearer?
No. Have you been reading chat? Because I just noticed that it was this one guy who was confused. And I do apologize, but at the very least we don't have an actual Nyx assassin in the game. We've had that a couple of times, but for now, I'm dying. Well, he is dying. Up top.
The Undying is not undying.
Nope. Not this time. Gets the reincarnation at level 25 though, which is interesting. 200-second cooldown. Kind of turns into a poor man's Wraith King at that point.
What? I had no idea this
Exactly.
was an actual talent. 2
Some of
second
these talents are
decay
kinda crazy.
cooldown though? If you have the Aghanim's, could you imagine that?
Oh god,
Stealing 10 strength every 2 seconds?
Kind of crazy, wouldn't it? How would you kill that hero then? Especially with NaVi's lineup, honestly. If you don't have any control whatsoever.
I don't
Intense
know.
strength is like what? 200 health points, right?
Yeah, it's like 180 or something.
What's 200? It's 1 strength for 20 health points at this point. Yeah. Get that off in 2 heroes every single time, then it'd be hard to just even out DPS that.
Yeah. I was just saying like 180 because usually when you're stealing strength, you aren't full health yourself.
Oh, okay.
And so you only gain proportionally to
Oh,
what
yeah,
you
right.
have, right? So we have a smoke come up. They have the Chronosphere online. Pings come out from NaVi though. I think they scouted it with this ward.
Oh yeah.
Good ward placement by them.
If they didn't scout the smoke itself, they must have seen him in that area and then not walking anywhere.
Yeah, look at where Crystallize is. Same with Roger. Just like as far back as you can be.
Radiant are scanning.
They should be fine. Upsword. Very interesting placement here to keep an eye on this part of the map. Oh, they get the
back on
glimpse and the
Roger.
static storm, but the burst strike, this time it works out! Roger! What a god.
Well done.
Didn't even know that you could do that, but I guess if it works with the Monkey King tree jump, it should work with burst strike too. Yum trying to TP out will be successful, but Disruptor not so much. Dendi together with the IO, they relocated in for this kill. Get that as a freebie, a little bit of extra farm, then straight back to middle lane for more farm. Dendi.
Farming efficiency, Wisp, relocate.
Yeah,
Farm a
pretty much.
Disruptor, farm a Creep Wave, back mid.
Oh, burst strike.
Good.
Onto Nyx here, follow control with the... Oh, that's a Night Stalker actually. But he's still able to get that... get the fly up there. Roger unable to really get another burst strike off, even with the blink up behind him. And now, NaVi might be overextending themselves a little bit. Where's the Chronosphere? It's coming down from the south.
You have
Intercept
Disruptor
Dendi
glimpse.
and or Roger, and there it is. Dendi actually popping the ultimate before the Chronosphere can come out. Pikachu on the outside, able to get some right clicks in. Shadow Fiend should end up falling, but Roger turning things around with you with a big old epicenter to finally bring down the Night Stalker, but too many heroes for M19 and not enough for NaVi. As the rest of the lineup said, nope, you guys deal with that on your own. We're just bailing on out the Clockwork Rocket though. That gets a well played from Dendi, sniping that Disruptor on the way out.
Pew pew.
Those are the best kind of kills if you're Clockwork.
Yeah. well done, General. Essie says thanks. Crystallize actually didn't join in that fight.
Good
He
kill,
decided
Yumi.
to push us. He may get this kill. It'll be close.
Oh, so close. I think it needed the bugs as well. That might have
Dire's
been enough.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. I don't know what the efficiency on it is. Like maybe right away if he gets the armor reduction going, but with the Maelstrom, he's doing a lot of magic damage, and that isn't necessarily going to be caring about armor reduction.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you lead off with the bugs out of Invis, you get them going before the TP comes out, so it's not exactly a waste of time for the animation and whatnot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's like maybe 1 or 2 attacks though, right? So you gotta wonder whether the bugs are more important than the attacks, but who knows? I'll go test it in a lobby sometime.
Oh well.
Dire's bottom
That poor courier suffering all the people attacking it in various ways, figuring out which is most efficient. As deja vu, Dendi is back in the pit. I wonder if he'll actually kill the Roshan this time, or if M19 will come and snag it from them.
Bugs again, there's another Chronosphere available. Javelins as well. Actually really good now. 25% chance to do 100 bonus damage. Looks like they'll be able to finish up Roshan, especially with the car kind of blocking the path. They get the Gloomstalk in general, Roger. Oh, queuing up that epicenter. Oh, into the Chronosphere! But they still get it off. Nightstalker going in there as well. Trying to do what he can, but then he got the Aegis. They're still going to lose a few heroes. General, first one to fall. Now the rest of NaVi on the retreat.
She's on Nightstalker.
They're going to high ground though. He does have the ultimate in case anyone comes up, but the Gloom's back onto Roger. Back to the front lines here. They're right-clicking him down. Denny with the ultimate. Gets it off. Couple raises. Right-clicks here. They're trying to fight against him, but a BKB keeps him alive for long enough to gain a couple of kills and these support heroes anyway. Now, coming right back. They still want to commit for us here. Nick's taking quite a bit of damage here. Can time lock it off. Pikachu, out of health points, out of mana here. Does not have enough for 4-star. His wand's actually in the backpack, so Denny and Crystallize can feel comfortable trying to chase him down a little bit. 4-star from himself. Got enough mana back. This from his normal region. That plus kinetic field will keep him safe, so M19 dodge a bullet there to claim the Aegis. They get a couple of kills. I think that was worth it.
Yeah, especially with them getting the cheese on the Nightstalker. I think he actually ended up using it that night as well, though. So, oh no, it's on Viper. Cheese is on Viper.
Yeah.
Not sure how that happened. Nightstalker could have stayed alive if he used it, but having cheese on Viper is like having another life, right? And Dendi with no more Aegis. I was a little bit questioning his BKB usage there, but it was actually fairly strong.
Yep.
Just kind of commit to getting those kills before going down. Sometimes you want to wait to die and then pop your BKB, but at that point, it gives M19 too much opportunity to disengage, so you might as well just pop the BKB.
BKB completed here in the Faces Void. Pretty decent on him in particular, I think. Oh god, Stack, so I'm actually kept the rebound in the door. So BKB though, he's still alive for a little bit longer. Try to just Shikuchi on out of there instead of going for a time lapse, so essentially what was enough to secure the kill anyway. So that's a definite BKB down the drain anyway. It was a 10-second one too, so.
Oh, Dendi has
back
DD
onto
here.
Roger here. No burst strike this time here. They get the dust off to make sure that they can keep an eye on him. Two supports working away at him while Pikachu chases away Dendi. He'll be fine. Might get a burst strike up to the high ground. Blizzy just chasing him after, and he will fall. Ooh. There's been something there. Nick's not pulling that trigger. The Chronos is too big of an ultimate to potentially waste like that.
Yeah. He's got MKB though. Just as Dendi finishes up the butterfly, NIX has the Monkey King bar, which I think evidences either preparation for this game or just like knowing how Dendi likes to play Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, regardless, I think it's a lot of value in Phase Void in particular because attack speed means that you probably get more time lock box. So Monkey King bar is a little bit better for him than it was before. It gave extra damage.
Yeah, with the 75% accuracy, it's just... It kind of adds that other component of spontaneous damage in your right clicks. Like, you don't necessarily know how much each click is going to like land out. Like, you think, okay, it's going to be about 200 damage just from base attack, but then you've got 75% for an additional 60 pure, and then another 125 with the time lock. It's like doubling your damage.
Can time lock and MKB proc at the same time?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All passives can proc simultaneously. Well,
that's a bit awkward. Sentry ward, and just a second after the observer ward gets planted down. So. Good game since there for M19, just realizing, hey, NaVi is setting up for tier 2 tower push. They'll probably want some vision in the back. Lo and behold, they get it down just as the sentry ward gets planted. And now, bit of a wraparound potential. They do have the nighttime Blizzy.
And they may have Arcane Rune on Void.
Information. He sees Roger, he sees Dandy. And generally, they don't see him though. The nighttime vision working in their favor right now. M19, exactly what's going on. And now it's coming from the side. This could be big here. But Snake on the outside, if he relocates in, or relocates him out, might have been a waste. M19, very wary about that. They're not actually ahead in terms of net worth. They feel like they need to make sure that they get the best team fight possible, the perfect, the right chrono. That is not counterplayed to win this game.
Yeah. I think NIX is realizing, hey, I need to get the Wisp in the chrono. Otherwise, like, it's potentially a whiff, right? I relocate out. Maybe he'll get some good damage. But that could lose some fight if he just chronos without them having control for the Wisp.
What do you think about the Faces Void's talent build, by the way? And for 300 health over the 100 time lock damage and time or cost range over the attack speed.
It's fairly defensive. It's almost like he's anticipating Viper will start scaling in and doing more damage as well. And it's kind of in response to the outstaying fights that we're having. Like, you're dealing up against a Wisp, right? And so if you either have to burst them or out-sustain them. And he just decided that he wants to try to out-sustain. Take the health, take the strength, take the mobility with the time walk range, but you know, maybe you could go bash. Yeah.
But what is plus 25 backtracking?
That is his old skill that gives him a 25% chance of dodging every damage instance that comes towards him.
Oh, that was just improving the time walk backtrack. Like backtrack duration. Okay.
There's about 4 Reddit threads every hour about providing clarity about it.
Yeah. I don't actually agree with that being a thing. It was super bullshit when it was his proper skill. Bring that back in his level 25 talent. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna see it in this game. We have the Chronosphere AoE instead. So.
It's like, oh, a Laguna Blade? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't actually hit me? That's too bad.
Can you disable it with break or something? Just then, please. Like when that was in, you didn't have break for the longest time, so couldn't even counterplay.
General,
his TP will be cancelled here, Blizzy. Playing with him a little bit, not sure if he can actually get the kill without any help. Yeah, just being a bit annoying, making General take the long way back to his team. Not sure if that was serious here this time. Well played.
You notice how well NaVi is like keeping these lanes pushed. Like, Roger cuts a wave and like kills it. And now look at where the lane equilibriums are at. On the Dire side, it's going to be mid, and again on the Dire side.
Yep.
And this is really problematic because you're wanting to get kills with this Chronosphere. You're wanting to be active. It'll be nighttime soon. And you need information to find that Wisp, and to only get that information, you need to have wards down.
Yep. The NaVi who's doing the most of that right now. There is a gem on Roger too, just on sorry anyway. I have to be able to click on the courier, but my hotkey is broken for some reason. Find it manually. Gotta make a red thread of my own
control groups? No.
Alright, there's the smoke up. Been scattered out actually by this Overwatch. Kind of spreading out across here. Roger again getting ready to skip another creep wave. But M19 is not even looking to push, they're just looking to try and kill some heroes here to give them a chance to push out these waves a little bit more effectively, or maybe even setting up for Roshan that will respawn in 20 seconds. Oh, not the longest respawn time in the world, but they know that there's a possibility to come up soon in general. Well, time he should end up falling here unless he can juke and jive across the trees. Here, Nick's actually inside the cockpit to get the glimpse. They get a big old Chronosphere glimpse actually out of it. It's a bit awkward here. But General has no help. He should still end up dying. It was a zoning chrono.
Yep. He wanted to check the uphill to see if there was a ward on the high ground. Good. That's just like frustration, I think, coming through They really want to get a kill. They're hunting, but they're being scouted out with these good wards from the side of NaVi. And their waves have continually been pushed and cut, and they just want to find something so they can secure Roshan, which is now up. And the Refresher Shard will be impactful here, as NaVi look to trade potentially a Rax for the Roshan.
Alright, I would say you get double chrono here. That's most likely what's going to happen. But I would love to see Refresher Shard on Undying. He also has the Tombstone Death talent. You can get like at least 3 tombstones out. You give them the Aegis maybe 4, which would not necessarily be effective, but it would be hilarious to say the least. But at the same time, while an Aegis was happening, yeah, Dendi claimed this tier 3 tower. The Dire Courier has been killed. He gets glimpsed back, but relocated out.
He goes top
towards the top lane. What the hell? It's not even relocated out. They just want more objectives. And well, Seneko will go right back to the bottom lane into the Static Storm, so he will be punished, but that was the definition of space created.
I really feel like NaVi is outmaneuvering M19 right now. Yes, Void has Aegis, has Refresher Shard. They also got the cheese up on Viper.
They also have another one just lying there in the base. Blizzy picking it up now.
Where? On
Blizzy picked it up,
or?
yeah. On the Night Stalker.
Okay.
Aegis and Refresher Shard. The faces. They want nothing to fight right now, but they can't.
They have to push down the waves. They have to push down the waves and protect the waves. Which isn't an easy task to do up against Shadow Fiend, Sam King, Weaver. All very elusive heroes that can easily cut waves. Well, Fiend not super elusive, but he's got the Silver Edge.
Oh. Weaver also getting kind
General
of big
bottom.
at this point.
What's going on here?
Fighting. They want to fight this here actually. Pikachu, they're kind of isolated from the rest of the team, so General walking in, shows himself for the rocket. Dendi and Snake are coming through. Epicent even been channeled. And they'll be able to bring down the zombie, big old zombie.
Will he get
Pikachu. Could be, yeah. That was BKB keeping him safe. Now the rest of his team, Nyx scrambling to try and get close there, but NaVi already on the retreat. The zombies though still spawning here and following Seneko. He might end up falling here. Or where to tether to, but honestly, that's a noble sacrifice. You don't even really care about the IO dying in these situations. Right.
Well, especially with Crystallize cutting the waves again.
God damn it.
They have one wave alive here, but Dendi's in mid.
Yeah. Dendi's in mid. We've got Roger up top. And then see, they cannot push. They have to respond to this.
NIX doesn't even have boots on him. He's just got to use the flutter to get around. He needs like he needs travels, and Roger's top. Like, this is just classic outmaneuvering. As the
Nyx wants to go, yeah. He knows it's there actually, and okay, Burst Circle miss. Hume still alive somehow. Now Roger and Dendi. Oh, this could be a big one here. Chronosphere available. Nyx going forward. And look to try to do the damage. Some do a lot, some not so much, but they get the time lock after Chronosphere for the extra control. So they get the big old Dendi and they also find Roger on the side. So 2 kills, both of them have buyback. And bottom lane, look at this, Crystallize. Seneko linking up with him here. They're doing damage to the range tracks this time, so this is unhealable damage. They get the first racks of the game. They're also trying to commit for the melee barracks right now. They know that there's a Chronosphere unless they want to use a Refresher Shot. A glimpse just a little bit of the money.
They were so focused on that Rask that they missed the gem.
What?
When Sand King died, he dropped the gem.
Oh.
And M19 didn't realize it. It's not a huge deal, but with vision being so important in these games, like M19 could just take away these wards, and that really makes it more risky for NaVi to try these sneaky plays where they cut the waves.
They recover it now, or?
Pikachu should see it here, unless he's blind.
I don't see it.
It's here.
Oh, that is. Oh,
behind the shrine.
Okay. Hidden in the bushes, though. Holy hell.
Yeah.
All right. Lies. He's actually turned pretty strong as well on this week. MKB of his own, Mjolnir, Lincoln's BKB. Still
got
making
the
of an axe on the
Sakuchi.
Raptors.
+1 Geminate attack versus movement speed. It's the AC up on the void.
Radiant's bottom tower
I've
is
seen.
under attack.
Trying to get the lanes in a position though where they can push. The
Pikachu's
Pikachu's delays a
low
little bit more. There's double Chrono available if they want to Pikachu though. Hard on the side, Crystallize still fighting against Blizzy Muriel, and the hookshot flew from General. They're gonna get an extra couple of kills here, more than likely, but Blizzy flying across to the side, and now the rest of M19 decide, hey, we should help our teammates scare off the rest of NaVi. Next, right back towards the tier 3. Has a battle through backdoor region though. There's no creep up there. Roger is back there again. It's not gonna arrive in for ages, so they don't even get the tier 3 tower. Oh my god, NaVi. Just. This is Alliance TI3. They lost to that shit.
I didn't know Bulldog like came back to retirement. Started coaching again.
Oh god. How do you deal with this now? I mean, Nick's even not even holding the refresher shot out of his back, but it gets burst struck now.
Oh,
Steals,
then he
breaking
comes
the
in.
Lincolns. It's dodging that. The Shrines taking some punishment though, but not sure if NaVi can actually commit for this. They're just forcing out reaction again. They're already out. The troll wins. Roger's heading up for another creep skip.
Radiant are scanning.
How are you ever going to get? Why are you buying a gem? There's one on the ground right here.
Oh no.
This is actually crazy how well NaVi is like able to execute this style of play. Like Weaver's got crazy movement speed. Quarterfinals has a wisp to relocate him around. They have Sand King. Roger's been playing out of his mind. Like he just like cuts the waves. He's got Yules to purge the silence and then blink out. He's got Invis. He's got Burrow Strike. He's just playing super well. And he even went Boots of Travel. Like really solid play by him.
But all of that, I mean, the gold lead has never been that crazy for NaVi, just because M19, they keep winning these fights with the Chronosphere, but yeah, they've maintained it at about the level of between 3 and 6k. Experience also very close to 0 line at this point, not all that significant, but it feels like they're much further ahead than they are, just because M19, they're the ones who are just dancing by their tune. NaVi, they're just telling M19, alright, this is where you need to go, else we're just gonna take your buildings, and you're never gonna catch us because we're all over the place, and we're out, so we read your movements because you're the ones that dictate those movements, you know?
Do you think Crystallize is going to see this gem and be like, "Oh, thanks," drops the and like puts his CPs into background and grabs the gem?
I know with the pause now, I might be having some extra time to look at his hero and surroundings, so we might notice that glow.
I guess like if you are looking from like from the side a little bit, it does look part of the bushes.
Yep.
And I guess with how pressured they are and trying to figure out, oh, are our lanes pushed? Are they pushing our lanes? All right, but here we go.
Nice.
Okay, ping the gem. Yeah,
there it is.
pings the gem.
Oh my god.
Who bought this? Roger bought that gem.
Yeah.
Like maybe at like the 22-minute mark. Lost it at 28 minutes. It's been sitting there for
a
like,
while. Yeah.
It's been there for almost 1,000 seconds.
Are scanning.
Oh. And seeing them making their way around. Are smoked up. Looking for something in it. Might catch Roger. Another. At this point, actually, it's a useful hero to get because he's been playing split pusher, but actually quite find him. Smoke breaks. So again, NaVi dodging M19. Bottom lane's being pressured again. Roger standing up top here, waiting for an opportunity. Just quickly burst down the next creeper. The side lanes are being pressured, and M19 they're forced to 5-man in mid.
One thing I didn't realize is that with Tether bonus, Shadow Fiend can accumulate souls while that's occurring. Mid lane, we've got a Static Storm onto the creep wave. For some reason or another.
Static Storm? I guess. What does he want to build next? I guess Axe would still be a good one.
Yeah.
To try and build into that against all these BKBs.
Man, General is so fat. He's got Shivas, Halberg, Forstaff, Blade Mail. And he'll probably even get the rocket flare damage, and he'll push out waves even faster. And he finishes up MKB. Void Chrono. You can Chrono like half the map, buddy. Don't be afraid to use it.
Dire's bottom shrine is
Still holding on to the refresher shard at this point. They might get a second one. Oshan will be back in a minute. But look at this bottom lane relocating. Live force out. They have double catapults here as well. This axe will fall. More than likely here. Or they relocate back out. They're trying to do the thing. Glimpse him back, but again, Uriel just missing the timing. So Sneko will even survive this ordeal. Just death by 1,000 cuts right now. Even top lane with the catapult. That tower's down to 20 life points.
Deny. Deny!
Point you might as well.
Yeah. That being said, if NaVi lose the key fight, there is, like, the Void is strong enough that he can just take a tier 3 tower and just go straight for your tier 4s. Viper, he's not quite there. The Butterfly gives him some decent push, but maybe if he were to go, like, Deso, they'd have that additional pushing threat. Top lane. Will we get a fight? Maybe yes, maybe no. Probably not.
Fly showing himself Doom, force that back and missed the hook shot. That'll be the end of it. Unless they can find a glimpse of something, but again, they're as well. They don't really have vision. They have this one obs ward on
Roger.
ground.
Setting up bottom.
On the Viper, it does have the relocate coming in. A couple of right clicks. Now that she's being eaten by the Viper. And it turn this around here. The shrine was taken care of earlier. This is still area anyway. Blizzy also making the way through. They will get Roger here eventually.
And that's the gem. Will they see the gem this time?
Looks like it here. But now they have two. One on you and one on Blizzy.
Right. Lanes still pushed. Will this ever change? I don't know.
Well, bottom lane, it's kind of a decent spot. They're looking for mid 2. They have a quick bit. Oh, the glimpse here onto Sneko. That's a big one here. Be able to finish them off despite their TP attempt. Alright. Two heroes on the side lanes and 4th Roche of the game. Another Aegis, another Sheets, and a second refresher shot. Void still holding on to the first one here. So, you're actually picking up the second one. Okay.
What do you think? Force Roshan, what should it give in addition to the refresher shard?
I wouldn't button. No, a rapier that is destroyed after 5 minutes or something.
Oh, they get crystallized. That's big.
Big old Chrono. It was a matter of time until one of these heroes gets caught out doing the pushing shenanigans now. They have another Chrono on demand with the refresher shard. He wants to swap that in for something.
I think it should drop
now.
A consumable item like Moonshard. Maybe not attack speed, but maybe just like a ultimate orb. 10 of all stats. Here comes the push though.
Also relocate up to top lane though. Then the Incinnator, they're training for Raxus. Nick's come in, he ate the refresher shot. He does have the Chronosphere available. He cannot get Mega Creeps here as Denny is attempting to. He's being left alone here. He does have a TP but in the backpack. He cannot go back to defend this here. And M19, they go for Juggler right now. There's no cliff. They're just committing for it. Crystallize, bought back. They still holding on to the Chronosphere. They can just use it for the Ancient at some point. Lizzie with the BKB, they're hitting it. Yeah, the Chronosphere, the fountain. They're also fine. Weaver, he's not coming back. M19 on the verge of winning that fight, but they actually turn it around. They're not committing for the Ancient. They not have a creep wave? The backdoor region is back.
Yeah,
oh my god.
The creep wave that spawned in addition to like pushing, and now he's doing it again.
Oh my god. What is this game, Mr. Lee?
I would probably uninstall at this point. if I was on the side of M19.
That was the game-winning play. The burst strike on the glimpse again, Roger. Didn't that on me? But damn. M19, if it wasn't for these constant creep skipping shenanigans, if it wasn't for backdoor region, they would have won that game. They had enough damage to eat through that, but they don't. Now they have to play against mega creeps.
And like, they have Aegis on Void, but like, who cares? Like, who's gonna kill the Void?
Sends out the Pikachu here, gets a Blade Mail off, Static Storm, eats a cheese again. And now Denny, TPing out, they need a bash or something, but Nyx is nowhere to be seen. They get the loose back at Roger at the very least. So, yeah, this Sanking will fall. He does have bite. What's about status anyway? Everyone has it apart from the Weaver. Used it a little bit earlier. Alright, Nyx doesn't put to travel at this point. He can TP in and then exchange maybe the EC or the Battlefield or something. They just need to get a creep wave in. Then they will have another Chronosphere at that point. The Refresher Shot was used on Disrupt as well, I believe, unless they give it over to someone else. So it's only the one Chrono. Hookshot in mid lane. General trying to delay this as much as they can, and
you just kill
them. They rid of the creep wave, yeah. Gets glimpsed up to the high ground. Tombstone committed. Hume. Should be enough to get that kill. The silence coming through. No more force staff. General will also fall. But yeah, hashtag space.
Now Sneko trying to cut the creeps as well? No.
Such a frustrating game to play for M19.
Yeah. General buys back. Can they kill this creep wave, or can M19 keep it alive and threaten the ancient? He's got the rocket flare talent, right? Yeah, 125 rocket flare damage. They need pipe, they need mech to keep these creep waves alive.
They can't. Look at this. Those even super creeps. They did get the melee racks in mid at the very least. Box nibbling away, the rocket flare spam. All they need is one creep wave. Then maybe with the Chronosphere they can just try to win, because neither Dandy or Crystallize can really withstand that if they're caught in it.
Oh, is Dandy going to get caught here?
He pops
yes,
BKB. That's that on cooldown. And Chronosphere still catches him here. Pikachu on the outside. The right clicking away, but this arm on the face is Void. Still gets the damage off here. Nyx ready to follow up. Epicenter on the back here. Finishes up Muriel. Nyx actually in a lot of trouble, but does have that Aegis. Very happy to continue, but no more Chronosphere. Slice, silence up, they can bring him down, maybe they can do it.
Pikachu, you have BKB, why do you not use it?
Pikachu is coming back into the fray here with the Boots of Travel on the next creep wave, and okay,
Roger's cutting it though.
He's cutting it. I think there's still backdoor region here. The Lost Undying, the Lost Blizzy, Gem on attack. Navi, too strong with a buyback from Dendy. They will lose Roger again, he buys back immediately too. It's time to run low on those though, only M19 as well as Sneko, I guess, still has it. Now, Nyx can get this kill. This will be so big here. They can indeed. 100 seconds on the sideline. Void, again though, he's the one who still has buyback on M19 to relocate forward only from Sneko. They're trying to body block Pikachu. Pops the BKB, this time no cheese to give him that extra bit of life, and it will indeed be a dieback. Triple kill for General of all people as he snipes that one with the rocket. So now, it's only faces Void here. The big old damage dealer. They can buy back on Undying, but don't know what he can do at this point. No Chronosphere for another 35 seconds. Nyx might actually die here with the hacks coming through. Lincoln's not protecting him, and yeah, that'll be gets the time walk off just in time. No pun intended, but now NaVi. They're barreling down mid. They have all the heroes. Sneko keeping everyone very healthy. NaVi. Then he's just taking care of the filler buildings as well as the creeps. They want a full complement of megas to help them out.
Void, you don't have enough to refresher for double chrono. You don't have the stats.
Nope. Oh no. He can chrono. And he can get it on Dandy, and he will. Only Dandy though. Sneko linked up with Crystals already, so no relocate shenanigans. But the time lapse on Weaver, not enough.
That's the dieback.
Oh, yes indeed. Everything is a dieback at this point, apart from Sneko. The only one who has it left, but there it is. Disruptor. He will fall. Use the Static Storm, some of the biggest deals, I guess. But all down to Nyx here. He needs to buy more time, gets as many kills as he can, but he hasn't been channeled up by Roger. Gets a burst strike off in the back. Blizzy being healed up by the Undying. Roger's still alive, but Crystallize coming in. Second chrono. Does he have enough mana for it? He does not. Needs like another 60 here. He's gonna time walk off, gets controlled up with the Hex as well as the power cards, and this should be it. Nyx cannot make it back to base. And GG is called. M19 just outplayed. Objective-based gaming from NaVi, creep skips everywhere. They could not finish the throne when they had the chance because of backdoor region. When have we ever seen that?
It's not common, very uncommon to see this. It was more so just like outmaneuvering and outplay, as you were saying, by NaVi. They continually were able to cut waves, and a lot of that came down to vision. I think M19 needed to get down better vision, protect their vision more with a gem, and then they would actually have opportunity to cut off Roger. They also didn't have a lot of good pick-off items as well. They had good like fight and tank items, but they need those pick-off items like maybe or on Viper or both combined. But so yeah, game 1 goes to NaVi. Can M19 strike back game 2? We will see.
Yep. I'm sure a lot of people expected NaVi to win, but I certainly did not expect them to win in this kind of a fashion. Just all around well played. Just eyes on a prize. Kills mean nothing. Drone means everything, etc., etc. We'll be back with game number 2 soon. Stay tuned.